We all make mistakes, but the
Right.
key is to learn from your mistakes. And the mistakes I made in the past, it was, I felt, God's way of preparing me to do the work that I've been doing for these last 40 years.
Yeah. And you know
So,
more about gangs than just a casual person.
yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up here. I'm born here in Denver, Colorado, at the old Mercy Hospital years ago. But in the earlier parts of my life, my mom from Bogalusa, Louisiana, my dad from Brookhaven, Mississippi. And if you was to only imagine how it was in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, even up here, let alone in the deep South. And so we would always go on those road trips, during the summer, to the Mississippi and Bogalusa and all that. And we ended up, fast forward, ended up moving back down there in the 60s. And man, anybody could only imagine how, again, it was the segregation. It was very segregated. The clans were in full effect. And I used to, refer to those cities as small towns as, you had two elements. You had the blacks, and then you had the clans. You had the railroad. You had the signs in the window that says colored only or white only. You know what I mean? We were Central High Spartans, which was all black school. We never could play the Bogalusa Lumberjacks, which is all white. Just living that time. I have scars on me now from that time.
Yeah.
And going through it. And coming from a place like Colorado, even back then, it was somewhat integrated, things like that. But then down there to be subjected to that as a young kid. And people hated you not because you did anything to anybody, but just because of the color of your skin. It caused us that. And to experience that as a young kid, man, I tell you what, coming back up here, when it got to the point where they were going to integrate and it really didn't sit well with the town and all of that, my parents chose to bring us back up here, but my father stayed down there to minister at the church. And so it was being back up here.
Now, at some point, you fell in with a bad crowd. Is that fair to
Well,
say?
that's coming back up. That's coming back up. When I came back here from Louisiana, from the South, man, when I came back up here, I hated white folks. I hated, because I felt like they were a contributor to killing my grandfather. Charles, one of my friends, they found him hung up, up in Vonado back in the days. And the experience being, for example, being spit on. I don't know if you've ever been spit on. It is one of the most degrading feelings that one could feel. And not because I did anything to anybody, just because of the color of my skin. And so over that period of time of being subjected to that, when I came back, I just had this thought in my mind. I just hated folks, thought that all white folks were the same. But then I get back up here, and somebody that looked like me tried to take my birthday. And then I couldn't realize that people are people, man. And when I use the term try to take my birthday, that means they try to kill me.
Yeah.
Somebody that looked like me. And I come to realize that people are people. There's good white folks, there's bad white folks. There's good black folks, there's bad black folks. There is good brown folks, good bad brown folks. Good folks, bad folks. And so I got to dealing with people as such. You treat me good, I treat you good type of thing.